Hey y'all, Monks will sing Tipak Long here with Dangon Gong Fu and Qigong. Today we are back in the bathroom talking about candle watching. This is where I like to go. You want to go somewhere as dark and quiet as possible. Lock your doors when you're doing deep meditations to make sure you know you're safe and nothing can harm you and everything you're experiencing is part of the meditation. And that way you just know that nothing can surprise you quickly. All right. So this is great for kids trying to get concentration better. This is good for martial artists trying to get more focus on their mind and to clear things out. Good for if you're just trying to meditate and relax. It's good for Qigong practitioners to understand being able to control their mind better. This will definitely help you be able to put the ape in the cage, as we say, and let your yi follow. Alright, so let's cover a couple things. This is my first candle. I will never get rid of this. These candles have taught me so much about myself, about life. It's way more than just staring at a concentration technique like everything. There are, I would almost say, infinite lessons to be learned, just like Iron Palm, just like anything. I mean, our imaginations limit us from the infinite possibility of things that we can learn from any instance, let alone in this lifetime. So, this is my first candle. I learned a lot of things. I watched it for its entire life and got to understand the shortness of a lifespan and to pay attention to it. We correlate these things to ourselves. And you really don't want to focus on these things when you're watching a candle. You really want to focus on the flame. Like, you're really just staring at the flame. Meditatively, especially Westernly, you're going to try and do things like become one with the flame, or not so much in that weird mystic kind of way, but you will imagine yourself as the flame, especially if you're in Qigong, because you know that your Qi is constantly burning around you like a flame. So you will see yourself. And when I first started, I would see like the little ember on the flame as my lower dantian, and the flame around it as my Qi around me, which is, all natural. But your goal is to look at the flame and do nothing but look at this teacher and listen. Do not get ideas in your head. Do not relate to it. Do not, there's something ancient and archaic about it where, it was the first television that ever existed. The first thing that man ever saw and was like, wow, was the flame. So beyond that, when it's really interesting, you're looking at a source. I mean, yes, you lit the candle, the wax is fueling the candle, but you're watching this thing create light out of a massive energy, and just watching this thing create light out of energy, even though it's wax and another force lit the flame, you still see this thing creating light. This is a thing that we can't do, so you have to respect it and learn from it. But once again, you just want to stare at the flame and just, listen and look. Listen and look. If you need to Om to get there, we'll cover a video on mantras and Oms later. And eventually I'll do a video on mudras, which is the hand positions that you do when you're meditating, depending on what you do. But for now we're just doing candle watching. All right? So this one taught me very much. I will never forget my first candle teacher. This sits on my altar and will always sit on my altar. This one I had so much fun with last night. This is a little tea candle. You can get like, what is it? I have 20 packs for $1 from the Dollar Tree, dollar store, whatever. And this one I was gonna watch till it burnt out, but it taught me something while I was waiting for it to burn out, and I get to enjoy it again one more time because it's not quite done. Qigong is much like when you see a candle and it has to, if you were to move it a little bit and you could burn the wax off the edge of the candle flame will burn longer, the candle will have a longer life. And Qigong does something very similar. We have all this Qi stagnation and energy stagnation around the edges and walls of our meridian systems and body, and you just gotta move and, get it to break free a little bit, and you'll have a longer flame and a longer life. So that's what I learned last night from this candle. So I'm only gonna demonstrate for, I'm gonna say 10 breaths so you can practice with me, and I will try to get as focused as I can in this video. But I'll concentrate on this, and then I'll speak on it maybe a little more. We'll see how I feel after I've meditated for 10 breaths or 13 breaths, and yeah. Mm-hmm. And particularly, I like to do regular breathing, and there are times where I do reverse breathing, especially when I do my mantra, which we will cover that in the mantra video. Yeah, so let's get started. Once again, if you would like to practice and play along, light a candle, stare at it until I'm done, and then we'll get back to this. Once again, I encourage anyone to practice these videos while we're doing them and then go back and work on your technique. And there are other variations of candle watching. This is not the only one. Like I said, I've only heard of 2 variations of candle watching, but I'm pretty sure if I sat and thought about it and played with it, I could probably think of, once again, infinite variations. Our minds and imaginations really limit us to what we can learn and how we can learn it. So breaking past that is part of this, part of your training, part of life, and it's very, very correlative and relative to everything. So let's get started. So again, like I said, that was super brief, but I really just wanted to give you an idea. I was able to go into, I'd say, like a medium level meditation state that quick, but I also do this 5 minutes a day, and I still have to watch the duration of a candle, tea light candle, which takes about an hour and a half, and that's my goal right now, is to watch and really just see if I can really learn for the entire lifespan of a small candle. For more advanced practitioners in Qigong and stuff, you really just want to keep everything clear. As I like to say, one of the things I'll cover that I say in my mind when I am trying to get things to calm down is be with the Tao, not with the day. Tao is that undescribable guide that some of us call God. There are many different names. I'm not going to go through all of them. I do respect all the religions, but that's just the most widely accepted one. So I really don't want to touch on the other 100 different variations. I will tell you that if you're trying to connect to a being with your meditation, is much more difficult than trying to connect to, in my opinion, it's much more difficult than to connect with an entity that you are not supposed to understand. So I don't want to get all like religious, because I'm not heavily religious, and I don't want to get all spiritual, because I don't think it's healthy to be that healthy when you're trying to clear your mind. You're trying to clear your mind. You don't want dogmatic reaction. You don't want all these things. What's going to happen next? You are literally in this moment, trying to focus on this moment of your existence and the candle's existence as intensely and deeply as you can. What happens next will be solved in your life more clearly after you've done this. If you're having a conflict inside about one of these things, like spirituality or religion, life, death, any of these things, this time will allow you to push out the chaos and frustration, put the ape in the cage, as we say in Qigong, and really let the ideas and solutions flow back in a more uniform way. And that's what really all meditation is. We make these layers, I call it onion layering, where how many layers on layers on layers can you get into, which we will cover in mantras lightly. Also, I don't want to keep mentioning that because I want to focus on this. But these layers, how many layers can you have? How much can you push out? How many layers of subconsciousness can you activate? And then when you're done, you just have this like uniform file of things, of information, answers, stuff like that. So again, this is great for kids. This is great for everybody. This is not uniform to anybody. As taught to me by, that would be Dr. Yang Jring Ming, because he's the only person that I know has ever told me stuff about, that I've ever seen real stuff about candle watching. And to work on your chi and just your overall projection, and it's kind of fun. See how far away you can blow out your candle from. And try not to like do a continual blow. Try to make it like a bullet or a dart, you know. So I'm gonna get a little further back than I normally do just to play with this for the next couple seconds here. Oh, got it first try. Cool. And then always, if you're doing a tea light candle, you want to put it out because it'll burn the wick down and you won't have a high flame to stare at. If it's a bigger candle, like my best friend teacher here, you will be able to put it out, light it, and it'll always be a long wick. So, all right, that's the end of candle watching. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this brings some peace and a little bit of serenity into your life as it has mine. Have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much.